The monkeys sprang out from their hiding place and grabbed the man cub. Baloo woke with a jump, but it was too late. The monkeys were already carrying Mowgli off to the ruined temple where they lived. Luckily, Bagheera heard Mowgli and rushed to the river to help. He found Baloo, who explained what had happened. "We need a rescue plan," Bagheera said. At the ruined temple, Louie, king of the apes, was sitting on his throne waiting for the man cub to arrive. "So you're here at last," Louie cried as Mowgli was dropped beside him. Louie offered to help Mowgli stay in the jungle, but in return he wanted to learn the secret of man's red fire. But before Mowgli could explain that he didn't know the secret, Louie declared that they would have a great feast in honor of their guest. You can see King Louie on his big, big throne, and Mowgli with a banana peel on his head. Baloo and Bagheera reached the temple just in time to see Louie leap from his throne and start to sing and dance in celebration of the man cub's arrival. As Mowgli's feet began to tap to the music, he forgot his troubles and joined in the fun. "Baloo," whispered Bagheera, "you distract the monkeys while I rescue Mowgli." Baloo had an idea. He dressed in some coconut shells and leaves to make himself look like a lady ape. Then he waved at Louie. The king thought the lady ape was very beautiful and rushed over to ask her to dance. He had no idea that it was really Baloo in disguise. Silly Baloo. But as Baloo danced, his disguise began to fall off. The angry monkeys realized that they had been tricked and started to attack him. Just as Bagheera rushed over to help, Baloo knocked over a pillar. The temple came crashing down on top of the monkeys. Luckily, Baloo and Bagheera managed to drag Mowgli to safety. The three friends ran deep into the jungle and found a place to rest. That night, Bagheera and Baloo kept watch over Mowgli as he slept. It was time to discuss their young friend's future. You can see King Louie and Baloo fighting over Mowgli. Uh-oh. "The man cub must go to the man village," said Bagheera. "It's not safe for him to stay in the jungle." Baloo, remembering Shere Khan, had to admit that Bagheera was right. So the next morning, Baloo led Mowgli off towards the man village. Baloo looks very sad. When the man cub found out where they were headed, he was very angry. "You don't want me to stay. You're just like Bagheera," he shouted. But before Baloo could explain, Mowgli ran off into the jungle. Off he goes, very upset. It wasn't long before Shere Khan spotted Mowgli in the distance. Emerging from the shadows, the tiger gave a loud roar. He leaped at Mowgli, taking the young man cub by surprise. You can see him in the long grass. But Shere Khan stopped in mid-leap and fell to the ground. Baloo had caught him by the tail. Shere Khan roared with rage as he dragged Baloo behind him, but the brave bear was determined not to let go. Eventually, the furious tiger managed to flip Baloo over the head. The bear hit the ground with a mighty crash. Big scary claws. Suddenly, a lightning bolt struck a nearby tree, which burst into flames. Shere Khan was terrified. Fire was the only thing that frightened him. Seeing his chance to get back at the tiger, Mowgli picked up a burning branch. The man cub tied the burning branch to the tiger's tail. Shere Khan screamed as he clawed the branch away. Then he fled into the jungle, never to be seen again. He's worried. Mowgli ran over to Baloo, who was lying very still on the ground. "Please get up, Baloo," he cried. Bagheera came over to comfort Mowgli. Baloo was very brave, the panther said. "Was?" gulped Mowgli. "You mean Baloo's dead?" But before Bagheera had a chance to reply, Baloo sat up and rubbed his eyes. He wasn't dead after all. Mowgli laughed and threw his arms around the big bear's neck. Oh dear. The three friends carried on towards the man village. Suddenly, they heard someone singing across the river. Mowgli peered through the trees and saw a young girl kneeling by the river. "Isn't she pretty?" cried Mowgli, climbing a tree to have a closer look. The girl turned and smiled. Mowgli shyly smiled back. When she began to walk off towards the man village, Mowgli ran to join her. You can see a beautiful girl by the river. Mowgli's having a look. Baloo and Bagheera felt very sad that their young friend was leaving, but they knew he would now be happy and safe. "It's where he belongs," sighed Bagheera. "Come on, Baloo. Let's get back to where we belong." And so the two friends headed back towards the jungle, singing and dancing happily. There you go, you can see them together, dancing off back into the jungle. The end. And that's the end of tonight's book. The Jungle Book. We'll see you next time, everybody. Sleep sweet.